Hi, everybody. Welcome back and happy Wednesday. All right, guys. So we have a lot to talk about. We have Kim from Bravo Breaking News, which I'm so excited because we have not seen her. Kim went on a fabulous trip to Italy. And so I just wanted to live vicariously through her. And I'm just so happy that she's back, especially because we have two shows to recap today. And there is a lot to talk about from the Valley, a lot of this Jax Taylor stuff. I feel like people always say now at this point, Adam, trigger warning. And then on top of that, Next Gen NYC, which I told you guys, Jason did not like it after the first episode. He's like, I can't get into it. And now he's like, no, I'm absolutely obsessed. So smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And let's welcome Kim. Hello.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Adam.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you? It's great to be back here.
Oh my God. The vacation?
Yeah, no, the vacation was great. It was definitely kind of like a much needed escape, but they don't have Bravo in Europe. I know there are like solutions for it, but yeah, I gotta say, I didn't watch a lick of Bravo, so I had a ton to catch up on when I got back. And it was great. It was great. It's good to kind of escape, but it's also nice to come back and get back into that routine, especially all the shows that I missed.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes, I mean, Jesus, I feel like you probably sat in front of a TV for like 14 hours. Like
Oh
those
yeah.
couple.
Oh, I mean, I think I literally watched 8 hours of Bravo on the flight back, and it was absolutely fabulous.
You're like, this is everything that I wanted. This is the
Yes.
best way to come home.
Exactly, exactly. And then like last week was like breaking news every single day. Every time I opened my phone, it was insane. And we have all these premieres, of course, Next Gen NYC. I know you don't watch Love Island, but Love Island is also back. So, I mean, there's a lot going on.
I mean, it was funny to me because I did my best. I sat there and I was watching Love Island and I was like, okay, maybe this could be good. And then as it kept going, I'm like, I can't do it, guys. But I'm an old school bachelorette person, and uh, there's an audience for every show. And it's like what I always say about people, like not everybody is somebody's person, and that is okay.
No, that is okay. There's only so much time in a day, and Love Island is a large commitment because it's on every day except hump day. So, you have to be in it. And yeah, and we've got so much going on Bravo with Next Gen NYC. Miami is premiering tonight. I mean, our content plate is already full as it is.
It's so full. And like what you were saying, with Miami coming in and Paige DeSorbo exiting, Lexi Wood is exiting, and then we have Rachel Zoe who's entering into the chat. And then I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? But I just get excited, like I love when we have a good full plate of Bravo and then finding out that our New Jersey ladies are going to go to BravoCon. I was like, okay, well, that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
That is a good sign. That is a good sign. I'm excited for everything to come. You got your BravoCon tickets, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I always wait
Will
till
you
last minute, to be honest
You
with
always
you.
wait. Oh, okay, okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
but
have faith.
also yeah. Also, though, we did the insider thing, and then as soon as they announced, like, okay, well, the tickets are available, within like 2 minutes of Jason trying to just get the tickets, it was like, well, the tickets have been carded and they're all sold out. I'm like, okay, whatever. We always wait till like 2 weeks before anyways, and then we end up getting the tickets. So it's fine
Yes.
because what happens is people just end up buying them, or I feel like third-party companies end up buying them. They buy a shit ton of them and then they sell them on StubHub, or people can't go. So then they know that they're not going to get their $1,700 back. So then they end up just selling the tickets for $1,200. So it's kind of like it's like I'm garage sailing it,
Oh, yeah. You have your strategy down,
Yeah,
and it's gonna work. It's gonna work.
it's going to work. Don't worry, Kim. You'll never miss me at a BravoCon.
Yeah, no, I got worried there for a second. I'm like, "Are you not going?" But you
No,
will be there. I know that for sure.
we had fun in Vegas. So yes, I have
We
to.
did, and we're gonna do it up even more this time.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So we're going to get into the Valley right now because there was a lot that came out. I'm just going to hit you with some little bombshells here, and I'm going to ask you what your thoughts are, especially with Jax $1.2 million in back taxes, and now the mortgage went from 8,000 to 17,000. Um, how in the do you get yourself in that situation?
I have to admit, like, my jaw did drop, but it quickly, like, came back up again because not surprised that this man is not financially responsible. It's no surprise that he didn't pay his taxes probably for the entire time he was on Vanderpump Rules earning that paycheck. But the fact that Brittany actually chose to get in a relationship with somebody who is $1.2 million in debt, then chooses to buy a house with this man, add it to the mortgage, is insanity. That is a red flag if I've ever seen one.
Well, and then the fact that they actually, so a lot of people don't know this, but this is a true statement. The IRS is the only government agency that can literally freeze all of your accounts. They can take as much money, like they can just, they're not the ones to play with. But the fact that they withdrew $100,000 from Brittany's account, I was like, oh my God, girl, you are just getting hit left and right. You got $100 or 100,000 withdrawn from your account. Okay. And then on top of that, you paid almost $100,000 in Airbnbs. So we're approaching $250,000. And then I'm just going to do the math here. Normally, you would have paid $96,000 a year for your mortgage, but instead you're paying $204,000 a year for your mortgage, which means your mortgage just went up $108,000. This doesn't even, I'm not going to lie, this doesn't feel fair in any capacity. Like, I don't see a world where she should have to be responsible for his taxes, except for the simple fact that it depends what state you're in. Like, when you're a married couple, you sort of assume that responsibility together, which, ay, ay, ay.
Oh my God. It is such a mess. I'm not really sure why she trusted him with the mortgage, knowing that he has all of these financial issues. You know what I mean? Like going into it. But I guess he was paying it for a while until he wasn't. And then let's talk about the whole podcast thing because he says that he's going to give her 100% of the podcast. Do you believe that their podcast is making $1 million a year?
No.
Yeah,
I do not believe that.
didn't think so.
I think that I don't even believe it's making $1 million a year before you pay out the podcast network and before you pay out your team, your publicist, and then also on top of that, then of course your 1099, right? So
Yeah.
even before all of those fees come out, I don't think that your podcast is making $1 million a year. I would probably lean more towards like 300 to 500,000, but $1 million a year, no. I think that's
Yeah.
bullshit.
I just think we can't believe anything that's coming out of his mouth. I am interested to hear like you know, up to date, like has Jax passed over the podcast? It definitely seems like he has his own The Mind of a Man. Whoever's listening to that, I do not know. The tour got canceled, but I want to know where they're at right now and whether if Jax is actually not, contributing financially at all to anything.
You know, I also think it's funny too, just to throw this in here. I feel like with Jax Taylor and like this podcast being canceled, I have said this because I've had multiple people ask me, and this is my opinion. Um, People were like, "Well, can you have the show without Jax Taylor?" And I think it goes back to one, you're never bigger than the show because you're a part of an ensemble cast, right? And two, if he becomes so toxic where the fans are now boycotting it, they don't want to watch it, and they also don't agree with, him having these moments of rage in front of Brittany and their son, and him also rage texting her, him spying on her in the house, him, hitting walls, breaking things. If these things keep coming out, then with all of the lawsuits that Bravo and NBC that they're currently facing, I do feel like at some point they will make a business decision and be like, you are now not only becoming a liability to yourself, but now you're becoming a liability to the network, and we have to move forward without you. I think that they gave him an ultimatum to go to rehab. Like, so they've kind of already shown him a little bit like this can happen. If you don't go to rehab, then you're off the show.
I agree 100%. I mean, he is dangerous. Let's just put it bluntly. He's dangerous to his family, to Brittany, to Cruz, to the other cast members, to the network. Like, he's definitely a liability. We've seen some really terrible people on Bravo. But honestly, is there anybody worse than Jax Taylor? Like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody, I mean, I don't know. I guess my head goes to Taylor Armstrong's husband,
Oh
who
yeah.
was abusive, but Jax is, I don't know. He's dangerous, and I would totally watch The Valley without Jax Taylor. These past episodes, when we get that, sad, confessional moment of him in rehab, those 3 minutes of him lying straight out of his teeth. I do not need that. I do not want that. Nobody wants that. I've enjoyed these episodes without him. And I'm honestly, as a viewer, scared for next week. We don't have a preview. It was to be continued. What's going to happen when he gets out? Because shit has hit the fan and I'm scared of how he's going to react.
Well, and I also think too with Brittany, and I have to commend Brittany here because Brittany has totally dropped like this veil as she's not putting on a facade. She's not trying to protect anybody at this point. She is just kind of saying what is going on. And, her and Lala even opening up about this ring camera footage where Lala said, if you show me the ring camera footage, I can't come back from that. So be careful. Don't just, like if you don't want me to see it and change my opinion, then don't show me. But then Brittany getting rid of the ring footage because it was so scary. And Lala being like, I had to tell Brittany, like, at this point, I think that either you're going to get hurt or he's going to get hurt or somebody's going to get hurt. And this is going to be really, really scary. And I need to tell you that. Just putting that out there on Bravo 2, that's going to be really concerning to a lot of fans and people who are watching, because a lot of it, depending on what it is, whether it was Luann getting arrested for a DUI or Shannon getting arrested for a DUI or, Ashley Darby's husband getting caught in a hotel room or, there are things and moments that are relatable to the audience that are watching, and it triggers them in certain ways. And they get really loud on behalf of the person that it's impacting because they're like, no, I'm dealing with the same thing. Like, I know how you feel and you shouldn't have to go through with this. Like, why are we giving this person a platform?
Yeah, it's I I feel like the writing has been on the wall for a very long time. He's always been toxic ever since the day we met him, ever since him and Stassi's relationship. But I don't know. It's getting to a point where it's unhealthy and it's not good for Brittany and it's not good for us. Like, I don't want to see that on my TV. Like, there is a level of drama and toxicity that we as viewers expect from these reality shows. You know what I mean? We kind of like the unhingedness of people and these shows, but I think we've reached the breaking point here.
Well, and then I don't know if you saw the after show, but like with Jax and Brittany coming out with this whole rehab deception situation with him saying that he had a heart attack, and then him coming out on the after show saying like, I didn't tell them I had a heart attack. How can I manipulate, a bunch of nurses and people in that situation? And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, well, easily, because if you're in a facility and you sign a form to be in a facility, now you are in the care of those professionals. So if you're saying that your chest is heavy, you don't feel good, something's not right, I'm having an anxiety attack, like I don't know what's happening to me right now, they have to listen to you, because God forbid they don't and they send you back to your room and then they come back and you're not alive anymore or something, then now that responsibility falls on them. So I think it would be very easy to manipulate this situation.
He is a master manipulator. That is what he does best. I feel like there is not a true statement that has come out of that man's mouth since the day we met him, especially since the Valley camera started rolling, because I just don't believe anything he says. On the after show, they cut between him and Brittany and they are saying the complete opposite things.
Yeah.
It's obvious who's lying here and what the truth is.
Well, and what were your thoughts too? Because I said this and it hit home for me. I have cameras in my house and my cameras are video, there's no audio. And so when she said that her cameras are video and there's no audio, but then he texted the producer saying, I can hear everything that she's saying right now. And like, kind of like, this is bullshit. And they're like looking around like, um, where is the camera? I'm like, this would be so unsettling for me.
He's insane. He's insane. And the fact that he comes over to get the mail, takes all of the sticky notes off of the camera, Brittany comes back, has to put them all back on. Like, this is unhealthy. This is not a normal relationship. This is
Right.
not a normal divorce. Like, this is bad. This is really bad. And the fact, just if we can transition here a bit to Michelle, I get where she's coming from, but her saying, I'm going through the same thing, if not worse, with Jesse. I'm sorry, but I don't think the two situations even compare. I think if you look at Jesse with his daughter, obviously they have such an amazing relationship. Michelle has shared he's such a good dad. I don't think the same goes for Jax.
Well, I don't know how he is as a dad or anything like that, but I feel like, in my opinion, with Jesse, I think that Jesse exhibits like true narcissistic behavior where it's like he kind of gives me like Craig Conover vibes sometimes, like where it's just like, what about me? What about me? Well, okay, you, yes, but what about me? Like, this is why is nobody thinking about me? And this is, I'm gonna have it my way. I said it's gonna go down this way. It needs to go down. And like an adult man child who throws a temper tantrum in order to get what they want. But that's not necessarily dangerous as much as it is just annoying for anybody who has to deal with that sort of co-parenting relationship. So I do agree. I think that that's a little bit different.
Right. I'm not sticking up for Jesse. I don't think he's a stand up man. I think what Michelle's going through with him is really difficult. But I think that Brittany and Jax's situation is on a whole other level. Now, does that mean that Michelle shouldn't get support from her girlfriends and them rally around her? Absolutely not. I think that they should. But I just don't think I don't think we should compare the situations because they're not the same.
Well, and there are a few moments where we've seen this before on Bravo, anyways, because Lala Kent had a complete fit when nobody rallied around her with this whole Randall Emmett thing. But yet she was coming on and she's like, BJ's for PJs. And yes, I sucked my, and this, and I got a Range Rover. And it was like, oh my God. But then when all of this came, just crashing down, people were like, oh, well, we kind of felt like that was going to happen anyways. And then, Ariana, she was just always like the sweetheart. She never talked like that. She was very just like bubblegum cotton candy. And, again, like America's sweetheart over here. And people really rallied behind her because they're like, how could your man and one of your best friends do this to you? So yes, I feel like we've seen this before, but no, I think it's based off of each circumstance. Each circumstance is different. That is okay.
Yeah, I'm just,
I mean,
I
there's nothing
think,
okay about it, but yeah.
yeah, no, I think that for the sake of the show and for the sake of Brittany and Cruz and the cast members, the crew members, and us as viewers, it's time to bid farewell to Jax Taylor. He is not needed. He is toxic. He is really like bringing the show down at this point. And I have a feeling it's only going to get worse now that he's like back in the fold next week.
Well, and I think too, before we get into the divorce attorney, I think, just my opinion, I feel like how they would move forward going into a new season, they would probably heavily showcase Brittany and have her on the show and have her dating and have, her around her girlfriends. And with just hearing how she is co-parenting with Jax kind of keeps that character in the game without actually having to pay him and him being seen by the viewers, so they don't feel like they need a trigger warning for it. So I think that there are ways that Bravo and NBC, I'm sure that they're sitting at a round table and they're trying to discuss this like as we speak.
Yeah. Alex
Yeah.
Baskin, do the right thing. You know what to do. You know what we want. Just do it.
Even the divorce attorney was like, she was appalled with the text messages, the money things, like the everything. And she was like, you can file right now. Like,
Yeah.
let's get this shit done right now. And divorce
The
attorneys, I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, I think you were gonna say you were about to say what I'm gonna say, which is like a divorce attorney in LA sees a lot. And the
Mhm.
fact that she is shook by Jax Taylor's actions, everything he's done from the rage text to the stalking to the financial issues, that this can actually cause an LA divorce attorney to be appalled is bad. That means it's bad.
You know, my and I just like a fun little tidbit, but I've shared this story before. My dad hired the attorney who was responsible for getting Anna Nicole Smith's body to the Bahamas to be with her son at the time. And she had to sit across from my mom and my mom's attorney, and they had this like mediation sort of thing. And his attorney was a shark. Like the woman is great at what she does. And they had this mediation, and my mom looked at her and said, "You're a bitch." And she looked at my dad and she closed the book, and she looked at my mom and she said, "You just made this personal. You don't have to pay me anything. I'm going to ruin you." And like literally walked out. So like depending on who your attorney is, that's some attorneys, like they don't play around. You get some serious attorneys in there who know what they're doing, and they're sharks. It's like they take this, to heart. Like they're in the fight. If you hire them, they are in the fight with you.
Yeah, and I'm scared to see, who Jax chooses to represent him and how that goes down, because let's be real, Jax Taylor is not going to go down quietly. Their divorce isn't finalized yet, right?
No.
So it's still ongoing. I'm sure that they can't agree on anything, especially between all of the financial issues. I'm sure it's messy and it's going to be ongoing for a very long time.
Do you think that he would pull a David Beador in the sense like, well, if I'm on the show with you, like it's fine if we showcase our son, but like if they end up taking me off of this show, like I'm not going to let my son film this show, you know?
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, I know Brittany is going for full custody at this point. So, and I think she has a good chance of winning that. So, I don't think that Jax would really have any say if that's the case. However, I can definitely see Jax doing that. And to be honest, I think that that would be okay. I think it's okay if Cruz doesn't film. I think that Brittany could still be on the show and still kind of, continue to be a cast member, even if we aren't able to see Cruz.
Yeah. Oh, and also, yes, just like Randall, we've seen this, I feel like, a couple of times where the men all of a sudden are out of the game and they're like, "Oh, yeah, well, I'm going to leverage this. And now you
Yeah.
can't film my kid. How about
Yeah.
that?" Enjoy that little tidbit. But I do hope in this divorce, as we wrap this up, I do hope in this divorce that there is some way to rectify the financial situation where Brittany is not responsible for a full $17,000 a month mortgage, and that he does have to pay his taxes back, pay his debts back, and then that alleviates her and makes it a more manageable living situation. I hope that they can figure that out.
I hope so too. I really, really hope so too. I want to get your thoughts on Danny and Nia, because I have some strong opinions here and I'm interested to see like what your thoughts are on how last night's episode ended.
Dark Side Danny. I
Danny Darko.
Danny Darko. I think that Nia, one, I want to commend her as a wife, because I think personally, there's not a part of me that doesn't think that behind the scenes, she doesn't rip him a new one and tell him, like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like, stop doing your shit. Like, what are you doing right now?" I'm sure she does hold him accountable, but I think on camera, she is trying to put up a united front for the cameras. And I think for him, do you think he's as bad as everybody says he is?
I don't know if I'm going to regret saying this, but no, I'm team Danny and Nia. I think we need to protect them at all costs. Did Danny make a huge mistake with Jasmine and be completely inappropriate? Absolutely, yes. What he did was uncalled for. He's, sat down with Jasmine multiple times and apologized. I'm hoping that was like a one-time thing and it's not a pattern, because whatever he did last night, that was not dark side Danny confronting he did nothing wrong. He confronted Janet for spreading rumors about him, just like everybody else on this show. And for whatever reason, they decided to go off on him and accuse him of being drunk. Oh, Dark Side Danny's coming out, when he was literally just sitting there trying to come at Janet like she does at everybody else. Make it
I,
make sense.
I mean, I honestly think Zach Wickham exhibits a lot more toxic behavior than Danny.
Oh.
Like Zach, literally, he will go from like 0 to 100 and be like, you stupid, and like flip out and just like rips everyone. But also, I think that he gets to do this under the guise of being a gay man, because as a gay man, when you have your girlfriends and your friend, like usually, and I know this sounds like a double standard, you guys, but usually like all of my friends are girls for the most part, but usually straight men, like when you hear them talking to a woman a certain way, obviously it's never okay, but when they're fighting, it's like, oh my God, this is insane. But then when you have a gay man and a woman, a lot of times they just act like, like two arguing women who just like are sitting there and it's like, you're dumb. No, you're dumb. And it's, it's different. So you kind of he gets away with it a little bit more with some of the things that he has been accused of saying and also say. And, I feel like they give him passes, but I do agree with you. I don't think that anything happened that was that terrible with Danny. And also for the Jasmine thing, I said this multiple times. I felt like it was like somebody called PETA because we are beating a dead horse here. He has apologized to you like 3 times. If you are not wanting to accept the apology, then don't accept the apology. Tell him, I don't forgive you. I don't care about your apology. I want you to stay away from me. We have to film in the same social circles. We're going to be around each other. And let's just have mutual respect to just know what this is. Do that. But if you're going to sit there and accept the apology, and accept the apology, and then drill the storyline down the viewers' throats because you don't have another storyline, I find that to be really annoying.
100%. I could not agree with you more. I'm so glad you agree with me as well, because I definitely think that storyline was spread far too thin. And yet Janet decides to bring it up once again. Like, let it go. Let the mouse go.
Yes.
Janet is definitely going to be the one that continues to use this. When Danny is okay, yes, he's at a bar. Yes, he's drinking. I get it. Is he even maybe like slurring slightly? Maybe, yes. But is he doing anything inappropriate in that moment for you to say Dark Side Danny's coming out? No, he wants to confront you for calling him out for a potential drug and alcohol problem, which, yes, is a little bit ironic to call somebody out for telling you that you have an alcohol problem when you are currently drunk. Yes, I am. That's playing out in my head right now. But he did not do anything inappropriate in that moment. Therefore, I think that what they did to him and came after him was completely just inappropriate in that moment.
And I feel like once something like this comes up, I think that it's so easy for everybody else to weaponize, like, okay, well, now we have this on Danny. So if we're not getting along with Danny, it's like, well, you're drunk. You're drunk. You're drunk. And it's like, okay, guys, let's go around the room. I mean, we have seen Kristen Doty like fall over tables and literally just like we have seen Jax, we have seen Brittany, we have seen a lot of people on this show. We heard about Zach at Jax's bar. We've seen a lot of these people on the show exhibit really, really toxic behavior when they're inebriated. This is not like a one-man show in that situation.
100%. I love Danny and Nia. I think they are just such like gems of people, and we must protect them at all costs. Like, I am team Danny and Nia through and through. That might change. Of course, we flip-flop quite a bit with these shows, but hey, right now I stand firmly on their side.
What do you think, before we move over to Next Gen NYC, what do you think about Jesse being so defensive about like them changing Jax's to Brits and, and him being like, well, like just really, really defending Jax Taylor? You can obviously tell he is a dude's dude for sure. Like I don't think that he's team Brit in this at all, but maybe that this situation triggers him because he's dealing with something with Michelle. I just don't agree with what he's saying. I'm like, they're trying to rally around her right now. They're trying to, make a moment for her, make her feel good because she hasn't had any peace in this situation. She's receiving rage text. She's filing for divorce. She's, like fighting for her finances. She's dealing also, she's dealing with different circumstances with her son. Like, I think it's okay to let her have some fun. Truly, I do.
Of course. Yeah, no, I think that Jesse is just I don't know. I don't know whether he's scared of Jax, if Jax has something on Jesse, therefore he has to stand up for him, or if, he's just kind of playing this strategy where okay, there's a cast full of people. All of the girls are going to side with Michelle on this divorce, I guess, except for Kristen. So you kind of have to, remember who your allies are at a certain point and make sure to not alienate them. Therefore, maybe he feels like he does need to stand up for Jax because he's not there to do it himself. Even I don't know if you caught this, but Jason also walking in was like, "Oh, I'm scared to tell Jax this." You know what I mean? Like they both are like, "Oh, Jax is not going to be happy about this." It's like, dudes, like I think I think it's all right, especially because Jesse is probably going to be the one to tell Jax since he's going to be picking him up from rehab the following day. So I think he just wants to kind of make sure all his ducks are in a row before
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah. Well, and he's gonna run straight to him. He's gonna tell him everything. He's
Yeah.
gonna clown the rest of the group, and he's gonna be like, "Man, I had your back the whole time." You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
By the way, also too, before we go into Next Gen, it's so funny watching the after show because every time when it's Jax in the middle and Jesse on the side and Tom Schwartz, like Tom sits there and like bites his fingers and he's so afraid of being on the wrong side of anything at this point after Scandival. So you can see he's just like listening to Jax and he's like, dude, you're lying through your teeth right now. Like, I can't be a part
His
of this.
reaction shots, they just cut to him and he's like just like sitting there with his glasses, like staring off into the distance, be like, what did I get myself into? Why am I aligning with this man? Like, I feel like we need to like scoot Schwartz over to the other side. I
Yeah.
surely he can't like support Jax in all of this. They filmed those couple scenes with Schwartz and Brittany, and I do feel like Schwartz and Jax have enough of a history where Schwartz can kind of, be there for Brittany a little bit, and Jax not be all up on him about it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's be real, guys. You're on the wrong side of history if you're siding with Jax Taylor. It's very clear.
Yep. Okay. Well, guys, with that, we're going to leave the toxicity behind and get into something else. Next Gen NYC, I'm loving it. I'm loving this show. I think it's great. I think it was a great business decision on Bravo's, part to not only implement, a new, younger, diverse group of people that can potentially appeal to a younger audience, but also what they did was they took children from Housewives and other Bravo stars and implemented them into this show so that fills the void for the older audience who has watched these kids grow up into the young adults that they are today. So business wise, Bravo, you guys killed this one. I don't always think you guys kill some casting now, but this one I think you did a good job. Now, can I just say really quick, this is so, and I know some people have given me shit about this, but this Georgia girl with the lost phone and the whole not washing her hands and this, like, no, man. No.
Pulling her laptop out at the club though and being like, "Can I join your hotspot? I lost my phone." Like honestly had me cackling. She's definitely a character. I agree with you 100%. I was very hesitant about this show. I was like, am I even going to watch this? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because some of those newer shows like what comes to mind is like Real Girlfriends in Paris. I gave it a shot, but it didn't quite hit the mark, and this one I was like, oh, it's going to be another one of those. But we are invested in these kids' lives. Gia, Brooks, Riley, and Ariana. We've watched them grow up. We've watched them go through so much. We love their parents. So putting them on a show together, absolutely TV gold. And then I'm also like into the new people that they've casted. What's the guy's name? Is it
Charlie?
Charlie? Charlie.
Yes.
Okay.
I knew you were gonna say Charlie.
He's toxic, but he's bringing it. I think he's making great TV. He's like creating drama. I love that Ariana is the villain. Like these are things that I like did not see coming, but it's actually just like meshing beautifully.
Well, and you know what's funny about this too is like he's coming in and even when he thinks he has such a bro sense of humor, I don't find him to be scary or anything. You know, I find him to be more like just like a D-bag, you know? And
Oh,
I
100%.
yeah, the way that he's talking about Chloe and he's like, you know, like, sure, would I have sex with your sister and this and that? I'm like, it is such a bro thing, you know? And just like that male, like, kind of,
Toxicity.
yeah, that stupid, just like it's like, dude, have some couth, okay?
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
Charlie
this
Puth,
man,
but Charlie Couth. Have some freaking couth here, man. And
there
like,
is no couth in the room with us. Nope.
no, there is none, not with this situation, but you know, I like Ariana. I like how vocal she has been, and also the fact that she came out of the gate swinging, just throwing her parents under the bus, being like, "They spent all of my money, you know, and I didn't know. Like my mom was buying me Christmas gifts with the money that I was making. Like I just wasn't aware that this was all happening." And I'm like, Jesus, like you didn't even hesitate. You went into the first episode throwing that shit under the bus. Like,
No, that is what we want to see. That is
yeah,
the update that we need. I mean, we've been following the Kim and Croy journey. It is so dark. I don't think we necessarily wanted to follow them again on reality TV and what they're going through, but to hear it from Ariana's perspective is amazing. I am wondering if we'll see a Kim Zolciak cameo on the show. I loved the scene with Meredith and Teresa last night with Gia and Brooks. I mean, that was just
not the terrible tacos.
oh my god.
Uh,
Oh my god, classic tree. Oh hi. Oh that man works on my show. Like she is just everything. Meredith is everything. I
I
mean,
love me some Meredith.
their offspring are everything. I love this. I love this foursome. I definitely want more of that. And I feel like the thing is maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like this group that they casted are actually genuinely friends. Like, I feel like they have a rapport. I feel like it's not, some of them are random, some of them don't know each other. Obviously, Ariana is just new coming into the group, but the rest, I feel like they know each other. They have an established friendship. Therefore, it makes it, I don't know, it makes it a little more natural.
Well, and I think that too, Bravo also like they hit the nail on the head because I think when you're an adult, you know how they say like as you get older, like when you're in your 20s, like you have like 30 friends, you know, and you're just surrounded by people. But as you get older, those circles kind of get smaller and smaller. And so when you're going into Housewives or implementing a new housewife into a show, they have that wisdom that comes with it. Like, I don't trust your asses. Like, I have life experience. Whereas, like, when you're dealing with this younger group of people, the goal is at this age in your life, it's to go out and have fun and make mistakes and mingle and hang out with everybody and be out on the town and do it now while you can. So I think it's a lot easier to put a group of people together who might either know each other or be aware that the other people exist, but it's easy to mesh them, you know?
Yeah, I had this thought last night, like, this is giving did you watch the original Gossip Girl?
Yeah.
Did you watch the Gossip Girl reboot?
No.
It was bad, it got canceled.
Uh,
This
well,
is what the
thank God I
Gossip
didn't.
Girl reboot tried to be. It's what it wished it was because this is giving Gossip Girl 2025. It's perfect in the absolute best way. These trust fund kids, these nepo babies, living life in New York, like just I love it. I love it so much. I just think they're all making fabulous TV.
Well, and it's funny because I said to Meredith, I think I said this on the phone, and now I look back and I'm like, maybe this sounded like an asshole thing to say. I should probably apologize to her for this. But I said to her, I was like, I'm kind of interested to see because a lot of people I find like listening to Gia sometimes, or even if it's Brooks or other people, like there's a lot of monotone where it's like this, and like not a whole lot of excitement. Like I feel like you could give some of them like an Hermes bag, and they'd be like, "That's amazing, wow, thank you."
Okay, Brooks.
And like it just so I was like, I'm just curious if there's going to be a whole lot of personality in this or not, because then you go to like old school New York where you have Sonia and she's like, "Wow, don't touch the Morgan letters," and you're like, that's personality. So I didn't know if we were going to get that, but I feel like
This is true. I think it's a definitely different personality types. I don't think we're going to see a Ramona coaster, on Next Gen NYC, but maybe that in like a different kind of like Gen Z type of way. I don't know. Either way, I'm pleasantly surprised by this show.
I'm honestly hoping that Charlie does not get his ass beat by Ariana's boyfriend too, because I'm like, um yeah, this guy looks like, like I understand that he's from a billionaire family, but this guy looks like he's like he's definitely ready to defend his girl. I don't know.
Yeah, two trust fund kids going at each other, like, I don't know, I love it. I'm loving, like, the Zaxby's of it all, honestly, like, I think that's just epic, and then Zaxby's versus, like, Crypto Kid, like, they're obviously not going to mesh, they're obviously going to kind of get into it and butt heads all season, and I love it. I don't know, I the thing that I don't love, though, is that Ariana seems to think that it's a good idea to start a clothing line with her boyfriend called Adored Angels. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that he's probably the money behind it.
Yes.
I think that it's by the listen, he wants to give you 51%. So now you have controlling stake. I feel like he's the money behind it. And I feel like I'm not sleeping on this relationship. I think that they said that they've been together for almost 8 years or something like that. So
Yeah,
this is
on
a
and off.
long, yeah, on and off. Like this is oh yeah, well that adds a little toxicity to it too. On and off, they've been together for a long time, and I think that you're in this together. It's a business decision, and a lot of times when you have business partners, they fall out, but the businesses still thrive. And look at Dolce and Gabbana. Okay, like they ended up just going their separate ways.
This is true. Ariana, she definitely needs to kind of distance herself from her family, make her own career, follow her own path. So if this is what it takes for her to do that, then more power to her. I'm all for it. I am definitely rooting for them.
Yeah.
Ariana's boyfriend said it's not worth getting into trouble. Yeah. No, I think he has a good head on his shoulders. You know what I mean? Like this crypto kid growing up in the city, like obviously I feel like that it's a completely different lifestyle than growing up in the South. So I feel like Ariana's boyfriend, I can't even remember his name at this point.
Isn't it
Um,
Harry?
is it Harry?
I think so.
Has a good head on his shoulders. So yeah, I don't think we will see them physically fight, but I do think that he is going to stand up for his woman.
And I also think too, watching it, another thing that I want to applaud is I like the fact that Brooks is just so open with, even in the confessionals where Gia is telling him what to say. And he's just like, I don't want to fight with anybody. Like, I don't want this conflict. Like, it gives me anxiety. And he's just like, he's not coming in trying to be like, I'm that bitch and I'm going to let you know. And like, don't mess with me. He's just like, guys, I really don't love this, and I don't know what to say. Like, I also don't like certain things, but I'm not good with conflict. And Gia's like, hold my drink. I got this. I'll be
Yeah,
the
like
mouthpiece.
what do you have to say about Gia being your mouthpiece? Gia, what should I say about you being my mouthpiece?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. I feel like he's just being himself. You know what I mean? That's like what we don't like about a lot of these newer Bravo stars. They come in thirsty, they come in hot. They are trying to force storylines and fights and drama just for the sake of it. Brooks is not going to do that. I think he's genuinely going to be himself.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that for him.
Yeah. No, I agree. And yeah, it was Hudson. Okay, guys. Sorry.
Oh, Hudson. Okay. All
We're
right. Got it.
listen,
Um,
we're clocking it, guys. We're clocking it. The mistakes won't happen. But
Though, so Ariana did get her sentencing for her DUI recently. I'm hoping that this doesn't affect her filming for next season.
well, I mean, she would just have to not drink.
But probation would still allow her to film.
I think so.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean, think about it. Like,
That's all I'm
Joanne was
hoping.
on probation.
Okay.
Shannon was on probation.
Okay.
Teresa was on probation.
Got it.
I'm sure we
Yes.
could keep going down the line. I'm sure there's more people who have been on probation. But okay, so also what do you think about Amira?
Which one is that?
Amira is
The
our
TikToker?
Amira is our stunning first transgender woman on the show.
Obsessed with her.
And
Obsessed with her.
she, I mean, honestly, she is absolutely stunning. I'm like, how in the hell do you literally come in here and just like you top everybody, like the looks, the vibe, you just in the personality and the energy. I'm like, and you have a relationship that seems like it's really healthy. I'm I'm here for her. And she's working, like working, Victoria's Secret, all of these other gigs. I'm like, girl, you're doing the damn thing. Go on.
100%. I followed her on TikTok. I am obsessed with her. She is absolutely stunning. I loved seeing her relationship. Her boyfriend just seems like just such like a normal guy that works in finance, 9 to 5 job, very solid, very steady.
Yeah.
Did he say they've been talking for like 2 years or three
Yeah, it was
years at
something
this
like
point?
that. Yeah, they have a history.
So I love that for her. I love to follow more of that. I think she was an A+ casting decision. We haven't seen her really like mesh with the rest of the group that much yet, but I'm into her. I'm into her for sure.
I'm into her for sure too. And then also I even though if you guys look at this, like the promo shot, we don't have the guy Dylan who is what they're calling a digital entrepreneur because he has an OnlyFans. But you know, I like I like the vibe.
I like
I'm
the
down
vibe.
for it.
What do you think happened to him? Is it like do you think it's like a Bailey situation where he started filming as a full-time cast member and then cuz he has confessionals, we meet him like he's going to be a cast member but he's nowhere to be seen on the poster or in the promo. He's kind of just coming out of nowhere.
He might not have been that strong of a casting decision because I think a lot of times like there are other storylines that can be explored, but when you have the solid like core four storylines or whatever, and you know like we do have Amira who is our first trans woman who's showcasing a healthy relationship. We have Ariana who's calling out her mom and like what is going on with this DUI situation. We have Brooks, who's coming into his own, and Gia, seeing her not on her mom's show. And then also Riley coming in, and potentially getting cut off. I think that there are so many other strong, solid storylines that his didn't really break the mold. So I
Yeah.
feel like he just kind of got tabled a little bit.
I think he'll be a good friend of though. Like as Charlie's roommate, I think it's like natural for him to be a part of the cast. I liked the vibe he was bringing, and then who's the other friend that is on the poster there?
Um, Honestly, he's not a standout to me. I
I
always
don't
lose him.
I don't remember his name either, but he does like bring a little shade here and there. I honestly like I am loving this cast so far. I have no notes so far, no notes.
No, just
Georgia is absolutely killing me though with the hand washing. That was a lot, and I feel bad that that is what she is going to be remembered for, like, moving forward, but I think that she's also, like, very interesting and brings again, like, she grew up in the city, she's very New York, she definitely brings, like, kind of that Gossip Girl, like, edgy vibe to me.
yeah, I just, like I would way rather be Meredith known for a bathtub than I would Georgia being known for like Germgate. I feel like there's so many other, but then again, Georgia, there's hope for you because I feel like Ramona and Sonia defecated like probably like 3 different times where they just like shit on the floor. And look what they came out of it.
This is true. You gotta stand out somehow,
Yeah.
and if this is how you kinda make your mark, then so be it. Maybe she can move past it and maybe they won't let her live it down. But either way, I'm kind of here for it. I'm here for it. Because even Ariana ended up turning around on her by the end of the episode. She's like, she's so cool. She's down to earth. I loved hanging out with her. So,
Yeah, and I also like the fact that too, before we end up wrapping this up, I like that this cast, as opposed to for the Valley, I feel like it's like Jasmine Danny, Danny Darko, Dark Side Danny, you know, like it's this, it's like we're beating things to death. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of movement. It just seems like it's like the same shit over and over. And I feel like for this cast, it's like moving on. Let's keep it going, guys. Like we're done here. You know, like, yes, we think it's gross that you don't wash your hands. So tell us more about yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
they've got a job to do. These house, even if the newbies don't know, it kind of seems like they know how to do this, but the housewives kids know how to do reality TV. They've been raised on it. So I have no like, hesitation that they're going to bring it. They know the game, but I feel like they're also going to be authentic in the way that they move. So I
I
love
agree.
it. I'm in.
I agree. I agree 100%. All right, guys. Well, we'll definitely be covering Next Gen NYC. Next week, the Valley is about to get, I'm sure, pretty toxic. So we'll be talking about that as well. And we finally have Kim back from Italy. So there's a lot of good things right now to celebrate. Happy Wednesday, everybody. And tonight we get the new Real Housewives of Miami, which is awesome. And for all of you guys who joined Jason and Kelsey last night for a new late night episode of Anchor Watch, they are covering Below Deck every Tuesday night at 10:30. And so they're absolutely crushing it. I see all of the Below Deck cast members that are in my stories and watching and messaging me and texting and like, we love this. And actually, it's kind of funny too, because I'm thinking like, do you guys think that that's me on there? Do you know that that's Jason? Because they're like, Adam, you killed this. And I'm like, no, I killed my bed because I was sleeping, you know? So no, I don't stay up that late, guys. So that's not me. That's Jason. But love that they're killing it right now. I love seeing you guys in the live chat. And as for Kim is in her catching up phase on all of her shows, but you guys know you can't keep Kim out of the game. So if they don't know, will you let them know?
Yes, I got to dig into Below Deck. By the way, the new season I heard is absolutely killing it. So I got to catch up on Below Deck and Anchor Watch. But for now, I will be posting on my Instagram. You guys can follow me at Bravo Breaking News. Trying to cover all of the breaking news that's coming our way. Even Love Island. If you guys watch Love Island, tune in. I'm loving it. And then you can also catch us on YouTube. We are also recapping the Valley. And I have like a new-ish show on popular opinions that I'm doing every week to kind of talk about all of the Bravo news happening. So make sure you guys tune into that too. If you're heading to BravoCon, stay tuned on Etsy as well because we will be dropping new merch for that soon.
My God. Yep. And then
A lot going on.
here is the Etsy. So you guys can check that out as well. And then also, guys, again, I know that I said this earlier, but just to go ahead and make sure that I share this. Here we go. Let me just pull this up really quick. We did launch 2 weeks ago our new website, upandadamlive.com. Thank you. Thanks, Kim. Where we have trending news, Bravo news, celebrity news, royal news. And we also, you guys can see all of our YouTube videos. You can scroll down, see our podcast, and we have an incredible team of writers. So we are having so much fun. It's fun just seeing everybody's opinion pieces. But also, we just launched something new too, where you guys can go and you can join our live chat. And usually it's in between the window of when the shows are actually playing. So like, you know, Below Deck will be between 8 and 9:15. You guys can go and join us for that and just come in real time and do like a live chat watch party. We're still playing with a few little features on it. Anybody who
I
ever
love
says
that.
making a what? Yeah, it's so much fun. And there's also a schedule too, by the way. So if you guys, you know, you guys can see like when we have other live chats, but all you have to do is go click on that little profile icon in the corner and make sure that you sign up. And yeah, come join us for the live chat watch party fun. And then we'll have other live chats right here on YouTube. So
I love it. You're doing all of the things.
my God, I feel like Can I go to Italy? It's like,
Your
God.
time is coming. Your time is coming.
My time is coming. Yes. No, I'm gonna be going to Mexico, so that'll be
Oh,
good. We'll be
fun. That'll
yes.
be
So
much more relaxing. Yeah, Italy was like a 30,000 steps per day type of vacation.
oh,
So
no.
I wouldn't say it was relaxing, but you deserve a nice pina colada on a beach in Mexico for sure.
We're here for it. We're here for it. All right, guys, go make sure that you follow Kim at Bravo Breaking News. We love you guys so much. Thank you. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And if you're a part of the replay crew, well, hey, just drop in the comments where you're watching from. We will see you guys later. Happy Wednesday. And I hope you guys enjoy the Real Housewives of Miami tonight. Bye,
Can't
guys.
wait. Bye, guys.